Hi everybody, this is Rosaline Bouger from Many Words Herbs Apothecary at the First and Fitness Building in Berlin, Vermont. Today we're going to be talking about the Ninth Chakra Activation Technique. I had this technique done 7.5 years ago, and this is my story. So one thing that we know about the human body is that it is born with divine defects. And one of those defects happens to be the occipital joint, the joint that holds your head onto your spinal cord. It's about cranial stability. The reason why we know this is because when a child is born, all joints are formed within mom except for the head joint, and the head is not developed quite fully in its totality. So just being born alone and it having been a traumatic birth, whether it's you're being pulled out with a suction cup or a forceps, can determine your fate and your health throughout your lifetime. So dislocation of joint that's not been formed, infant been pulled out, mom had a very difficult birth, umbilical cord wrapped around the neck. Often what we see is younger children with scoliosis, as well as some back problems, headache problems, TMJ problems, basically all caused from cranial instability. Also, ninth chakra is about concussion syndrome. So we take a human being who is defective by divine flaw, and like take myself, 5 years old, pushed on the ice, hit my chin on the ice, had multiple glass go into my chin, causing more trauma to the head. 7, skiing accident, hit a tree with my head. Sliding accident, 12 years old, multiple traumas, car accident, whatever might be the experience. Each time that you hit your cranial area, you're causing more trauma to the head. So it's not a matter of if a person has a dislocated joint, it's a matter of to what degree, and to that degree creates whatever chronic pain can possibly be within the body. We're talking more about structural integrity of the human body and cranial stability in the human body. So the body's pretty amazing. And it will fit and accommodate a dislocation to whatever degree, but some people really suffer their whole lives, and it continues to get worse. And then we have misdiagnoses because of these traumas that were sustained from the occipital joint. So the ninth chakra really is about cranial stability, structural integrity. It's about releasing connective tissue. It's not a chiropractic work. It's a brand new technique. It's only been in the US for a little over 20 years. And we're primarily working with just the connective tissue. Now, why do I call it the ninth chakra activation technique? And the reason is because the location that I'm working in Reiki terminology is the ninth chakra. It is the area that connects us with God. In sacrocranial they call it the gate. In some traditions they call it the jade pillow. Others they call it the mouth of God. And it is all about opening your connection with self, and opening your connection with a higher power. I find that when this technique is done on people, it moves them forward in their life. When you're stuck in chronic pain, you have a tendency to live in the past, and you live in a very negative space in your life. When you release a person's chronic pain, they move forward in life. They feel more connected to those around them. They feel more connected with their higher power. They make better decisions, things change in their life. And so this is why I call it the ninth chakra work, because it's all about finding a connection. There's a scientific base for this. And so this is about releasing connective tissue. And when you release connective tissue, then these structures of the bones can be released and moved. So it kind of relieves that impediment on the suboccipital joint. Part of that impediment includes the sympathetic nervous system. The sympathetic nervous system is about autonomic nervous system, which has everything to do with your ability to heal and to move forward in your life. So the ninth chakra actually has a scientific base. It relieves stress on your sympathetic nervous system. When your sympathetic nervous system is being impeded on from a subluxation of your suboccipital joint, then your nervous system is always on fight or flight. So a lot of people have anxiety issues, or they're high stressed. And your sympathetic nervous system is part of your immune system. It acts, like I said, the subatomic nervous system. It actually helps you heal. It helps you stay in balance. It helps you, it just helps you feel more relaxed in your environment, and it helps your body actually heal itself and recover from whatever damage that has been done. So I came into the work 7.5 years ago. So from multiple head injuries, it was a matter of if my occipital joint was out of location. It was a matter of how far it was out of location. I actually went to see a NUCA doctor in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, who said my occipital joint was out by 8 degrees, and that I would have had to have sustained blunt force trauma to the head, which I had throughout the years of my life. You know, experiences happen to everyone. So I always had a leg length differential of 1/2 inch on the right side, which creates an imbalance in the body, a structural misalignment. The body, as you age, does not like to be misaligned. It can cause a lot of chronic conditions. People end up getting hip replacements, joint replacements, wears and tears, this misalignment. Some people end up getting lifts in their shoes. My body did not like it. I later found out that I had Ehlers-Danlos syndrome, which I diagnosed myself as having because I've always been very, very flexible, not necessarily double jointed, but flexible. And so when you have somebody that is flexible, their ligaments cannot hold their joints in place. And with cranial instability, then you have dislocation and chronic dislocation. So, you know, you could be fine and then sweeping the floor, and then suddenly your back goes out and you can't walk, or you're paralyzed in some way for a period of time. So for me, the ninth chakra saved my life. The way that my life was headed prior to having this work done, I had a fear of being in a nursing home and being cared for. I couldn't imagine living in that pain my whole life. And so I just wanted to share this information with you, that I've now become a ninth chakra practitioner. And if you are living in any kind of a chronic pain sustained from life experiences, this work could really help relieve some of that pain. I like to tell people that the work can help you anywhere between 20 and 90%. I also work with people with intolerance diets. So one of the things I've found with my arthritis is that there are certain foods that you can't eat, and there are certain foods that you should be eating. So I maintain my arthritis that I've had now since I was a small child. I maintain structural integrity in my body. I maintain my conditions of Ehlers-Danlos syndrome. and I'm pretty happy with my life right now. So I want to share that happiness with everybody who comes to seek me out and is ready to try a new experience, and move forward in their life, and wants to heal from whatever chronic condition that they're suffering from. Check out my other videos that I have. I'm going to be posting more on the internet as I go along. I want to get more testimonials from people. I think this work is very sacred. I think it's very important. And I hope to see you very soon for your healing. Thank you.